All right, we got PTA episode 3, boys. We're doing divisional recap, coaching carousel, and then we're going to talk about the conference championships.
Let's go, baby.
But first things first, we have the divisional. Bills Broncos. Broncos win a close one, 33-30. There was the catch, obviously, that was pretty controversial. Josh Allen had 5 turnovers. You know, team hasn't won on the road with 5 turnovers since '82. They fired Sean McDermott. Bo Nix obviously shattered his ankle last play, second to last play. What are our thoughts here?
That was a really fun game. Great game to watch. Like, especially if you bet on it, it was going back and forth the whole time. But Josh Allen did not play up to his standards. I remember his first fumble. He was running with the ball, and he was holding it out like this, like it was like a keychain or something. Like, he was not protecting the ball. And, I mean, 5 turnovers, that's what cost them the game. And then you can argue what you want on that last Brandon Cooks catch, but I was kind of indifferent at first because I had money on the Bills, but I think he definitely did not catch that ball.
There's a lot to unpack out of this game on both sides. But, I mean, starting with Allen, I mean, he simply wasted one of the best opportunities he might ever have to win a Super Bowl. I mean, he lost to a Bo Nix-led Denver team that was pretty – I mean, I think everybody across the board didn't think that they were worthy of 14 wins, didn't think they were worthy of a 1 seed. The defense showed cracks while it was really good all year. You obviously had all the quarterbacks in the AFC out. And if he had gotten past, you would have had a quarterback in his first playoff run and a coach who's never made a Super Bowl before in New England and a team that you've also beaten this season. And then if you get to the Super Bowl, there's a good chance you're playing Sam Darnold. It's a massive wasted opportunity for Josh Allen, and it's kind of just been par for the course for his career at this point. He's dominated people in the wild card round, and then he gets to the divisional round or he gets to the conference championship, and he's failed to come through so far. I think he'll eventually get through at some point, but you know, he's turning 30 this year, and this is his, 5th playoff, and he comes up short again, and this time he plays a horrible game for his standards. So it's kind of crushing as a Denver fan, and especially if you're one of the Josh Allen supporters who says he's the best quarterback in the league. It's a pretty tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, like on one hand, you know, McDermott's gone now. They got to put the scapegoat on someone. But, yeah, I mean, the 5 turnovers, some of them were pretty damn bad. It's like –
how's it McDermott's?
I feel like last week we're talking about, like, giving Josh Allen his praise and, you know, his relief and all that. And then he goes and does this. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, well, the game on the line is having to throw the ball up to Brandon damn Cooks to go get it. And then you look at that, it's like, okay, well, the front office put him in this position. But it's hard to feel bad. Like the prior 3 years, they lost in the fourth quarter comebacks. This one, it's hard to feel bad for him, though. Like, he simply played terrible.
And they were defeated after the game. Like, they were all crying and stuff, dude.
Do you think this is the toughest pill to swallow for Josh Allen based on the last
I think so, just because
losses?
Lamar and Mahomes weren't there. I think he totally saw it was his year. And, you know, also when you're in, like, no matter who's on your team, you're not going to be like, oh, my receiver sucks, so I shouldn't make it that far. You know, you're going to believe in your team and everything. You're going to think you can take it as far as you can. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, yeah, they just did not have the pieces around him to get that done.
I don't think this is the toughest pill to swallow yet. I think for some fans it is just because it's like, oh, we didn't have to go through Mahomes. But this Bills team, if you look at it top to bottom, is nowhere close to the best Bills teams of the last 5 years. I mean, they've had much more talent on this roster in recent memory than they had this year. I mean, outside of Deion Dawkins, James Cook, and obviously Josh Allen, they do not have much talent. The receiving room is a bottom 4th receiving group in the league. The defense has been above average to mediocre all year. I mean, I think the writing was kind of on the wall with this team throughout the season. I mean, we saw them lose and get smashed by some mediocre teams. We saw them lose to a lot of good teams. And football is not basketball. It's not give the ball to one guy and just let him take you to the promised land. Like, you have to have a team. We see it year in and year out. It's like, oh my God, they have this awesome quarterback. He's just going to carry him. It's not how football works. If that's how football worked, Seattle wouldn't have won 14 games. Denver wouldn't have been the 1 seed. Like, this is the most team game, team sport that there is. And one awesome quarterback can't take you all the way. So I just think how this roster's built, obviously it sucks because you don't have to go through the boogeyman who you've had to go through for 5 seasons. But I think Bills fans who have been paying attention for 5 years realize that this roster is just not as good as it has been.
And it sucks, too, because they took the coach as the scapegoat instead of the guy that built the roster. And it's like, I mean, McDermott, like, they still won, 11 games with that roster? Like, it was not very good.
12
games, yeah, exactly. I mean, he did a good job, and I don't think this year showed so much how much coaching matters, and I don't think that he coached a bad game at all. I mean, I don't know what – I saw some stat today. It's like they are first – in the last 5 years, or like since McDermott's been the coach, they're like first in points in the whole league, first in third down conversion rate in the whole league, first in point differential in the whole league. And, I mean, he's getting that well, every draft. I mean, you can look at their draft class every year right after the draft and be like, what the hell is going on? You don't even have to watch them play that year. You already know. You're like, what was this draft? It makes no sense. I mean,
I think it's just an organizational failure. Like we talked about the stat earlier, since Bean's been the guy right after Allen, 56 players have been drafted. Only 2 have made the Pro Bowl. And I think McDermott, Brandon Bean, Josh, it's just an organizational failure from top to bottom. Josh didn't show up when it mattered the most. If Josh played like he did in the previous playoff seasons, I think they win this game. And the only reason they didn't, again, is the turnovers. But I think it's just at some point push comes to shove, and you got to change something. And unfortunately, that's Sean McDermott, even though we all think that there probably isn't a better guy out there to hire. But it's like, what are you going to do at this point? It's like the Cowboys firing Mike McCarthy. You win 12 straight every single season, but then you can't get over a hump. And if you can't get over a hump, something's got to change.
Yeah, who are they going to hire that's better than McDermott right now?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't promote the head of the snake to the head of football operations, who's been the spearhead of this crapshoot for 8 years in player personnel.
He must be good at sales.
Brand, like you just brought up, he said he's drafted 2 Pro Bowlers since Josh Allen's been drafted. Mm-hmm. One of them is Dawson Knox.
He's their backup now.
Like, he's their backup tight end.
It's not a Pro Bowler. That's like Mitch Trubisky making the Pro Bowl.
An alternate one year.
Like a third alternate.
The only one is James Cook, and it's not like James Cook is Bijan.
Well, and he's a running back with the least valuable position in the NFL.
Dawson Knox probably made it because 4 tight ends dropped out.
And you know what's crazy? The year before Bean took over, McDermott ran the draft. He drafted Tre'Davious White, Deion Dawkins, and Matt Milano. Those have been like 3 of the staples for this Bills run that Bean didn't even draft. McDermott drafted them. Mm-hmm. I have no problem firing McDermott. I think he's underachieved relative to where their expectations were for probably half a decade at this point. But to keep Bean and not only keep him, promote him, I think is crazy. And have you guys seen some of the stuff coming out about Bean and McDermott today?
No.
They said that McDermott, like 5 weeks ago, had a meeting with Bean and the owner and was like, our roster's not good enough. And apparently that's why he got fired. Because the owner and Bean were both like, no, this roster's great. We've put together a great roster. You need to coach them up better. And so McDermott,
ignorant.
They had a meeting, the 3 of them, and they both basically teamed up on McDermott. And, I mean, if you look at any advanced statistic, anything shows this Bills team is not that good.
No, it's not.
Top to bottom. I mean, McDermott was right. He went to them and was like, we need more players. And Bean has the owner's ear clearly and was like, no, we got this. And I hate how that sets up for this future with the Bills.
I think they're going to be a mess.
Keeping Bean, who has been probably the biggest issue with them not getting over the hump, then promoting him. Obviously, he's got the ear of the owner. Whoever they put in as coach, I mean, he's going to have no authority.
No.
And this is Bean's show now, and Bean's show has been pretty bad outside of drafting Josh Allen.
And if you're a head coach, why are you wanting to go there? You're saying, McDermott even won all these games, made some runs, but if the Bean's going to be running the ship, the roster has a good chance of not improving, and then where does that leave you?
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation.
Like we said, McDermott elevated that roster so much. There's only so much the next coach can do.
Just you got to do something. But yeah, I mean, Buffalo. We'll get into the coaches here in a second and who they could potentially look at, and then Denver. I mean, obviously the biggest takeaway is the ankle, and I mean that fucking sucks for Bronco fans and just the whole organization. But if there's anybody to make a backup QB work, it is Sean Payton.
So
He's like 4-1 or something with a backup quarterback.
I mean, we got a few years back, he went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. And then with the Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill experiment a few years back, too, they had 29 touchdowns and 13 picks with those guys in there. So, I mean, Sean's shown he could win with a backup QB, and I'm probably more confident with him than any other coach in a situation like this. And they liked Stidham. When he got here, they brought back Stidham for $12 million. People said, why the hell are they paying Jared Stidham $12 million? Now we're going to see why.
A year?
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
Sean, they made him a priority when Sean got there. He's like, I want Stidham as the guy. So
that's what he did with Taysom Hill too, right?
I mean, we'll fucking see, and we'll get more into that Denver matchup here in a second. But second game, Rams-Bears, crazy game. Rams take it 20-17. Caleb 3 picks. One of them was kind of forced, but we probably saw maybe the craziest play ever. And I saw this too, that touchdown play at the end, over 50 air yards for a 14-yard touchdown, was the most air yards ever on a throw.
Off his back foot.
Yeah.
Back pedal.
A Madden play.
It was watching that live,
Y'all were losing your minds.
Like,
I didn't know it was fourth down. I was like, what's the big deal?
Me and Big E were literally screaming. We were like, what the hell did we just watch? I was thinking about that today. I don't think I've ever seen a more impressive throw in my life. Like
you don't even make that play in Madden.
Did you see
that play doesn't happen in Madden.
Hell no.
You see that? Remember that Bo Nix throw last year to help them make the playoffs? That was pretty similar to that. Bo Nix was like on the run and threw like 50 air yards. But no, that one was crazier. He was off his back foot running backwards.
Well, and like the
two guys in his face. Yeah.
The stakes of it, too. Mm-hmm. Like the stakes of like fourth down. And you know what's crazy is he had a throw that was also one of the greatest throws I've ever seen the week before in the Packer game. 4th and 8, he dropped it in that bucket rolling left. And then he one-upped it this game, clearly, with arguably the greatest throw ever. I mean...
Wasn't he literally midair, that throw versus the Packers?
Yeah, he was like rolling left.
He's so crazy, man.
I mean, his raw talent is just out of this world. And I think that was the biggest takeaway for me is like... I think the Bears kind of squandered an opportunity. I mean, they had 3 turnovers. The Rams had no turnovers in that weather, no drops, very few penalties, and it's still, they barely beat him in overtime, and it took a DJ Moore jogging off his route to win that game. Like, that was my biggest takeaway is the Bears are here. And Ben Johnson and Caleb are here.
Well, in this next draft, too, this draft is extremely defensive heavy, especially in the first 3 rounds. The Bears offense, the Herd was saying this, so the Bears offense might be the most complete roster in the NFL. Like, you talk about QB, skill positions, offensive line. They could literally just go straight up defense. And, I mean, it's hard to – I mean, are they the favorites coming out of the NFC next year?
I will say they need a new left tackle because they were starting a rookie, and he has an injury might be a career ender.
Darnell Wright got hurt.
I know, but he's their right tackle, though.
Oh, their left tackle got hurt?
Yeah, and he was a rookie, and he was playing good, but he tore like a pec or something that's like it really takes over a year to come back from, and most players don't even come back from it. So they might need to get a tackle, and they might need to replace DJ Moore. But I agree with you.
DJ Moore. You got Luther Burden waiting in the wings. Room's going to get better. You got Colston. Now, question for you
Colston's
here.
Awesome.
They really lost the game, too, on their 4th downs. They had 3 opportunities in Rams territory. They didn't get any of them. And if you're Ben Johnson, obviously hindsight's 20/20, but would you have gone for 2 there after they scored that touchdown?
No. I've seen a lot of this discussion, and I agree with most of what I've heard so far, and it's everyone's like, oh, he's Ben Johnson. He came from Dan Campbell. He's aggressive. He goes for it on these situations. What that showed was he's actually also very intelligent and understands the flow of the game. They were horrible, like you just said, on 4th down, and they were horrible in short yardage. Their defense was containing the Rams fantastically, and their offense had just gotten going. Like, if you're Ben Johnson, you've already burned 3 or 4 of your best short yardage plays. They didn't work. Your defense is working, and in overtime, the rules have changed. You get the ball no matter what. So
and they had the ball after the Rams in overtime.
Exactly.
Like they had an opportunity to score. The players just didn't pull through.
It worked out perfectly, and the Caleb DJ Moore thing happened. Like, I think you make that same decision again, and you live with what happens.
I
think
agree.
It was the right call.
And I think that kind of goes to show like the Ben Johnson versus Dan Campbell debate. Like
100%.
Ben Johnson, like logical analytics, like at the blackjack table, like, okay, I'm going to stand on this 17 and the dealer's showing a 6. Whereas Dan Campbell is going to be like, I'm going to let my emotions get the best of me and roll with it, even though it logically isn't the smart thing to do. And we see a team like Detroit this year crumble when it matters most, and we see Chicago overachieving and shooting, over what they're expected because of Ben Johnson. And yeah, I mean they're going to be just fine. I mean, I think you ask any Bears fan, especially we're there week 3, if they got to this point,
oh my god,
they would be so excited.
No, and it's also like we know Ben Johnson's a really smart coach, and like he's going to take those moments of the 4th downs and that overtime drive where they didn't go score, and he's going to study those and learn from those, and then maybe he'll make some changes, maybe save some plays for those late moments, that he doesn't show before. Just be, he's smart enough. He's gonna figure something out. I'm not as smart as him, so I can't tell you. But
You're not?
I could be. Keep me off the hashish for a couple more weeks. We'll see. No, but you know what I mean. Like he's gonna learn from his mistakes. He's a logical guy. He's gonna review the tape.
And that's the thing too is he has logic leading him. So like even these mistakes suck. But they will make him better. But like the foundation of how he coaches his philosophy, like it's.
Yeah, he's not trying to big dick everyone
move.
like Dan Campbell.
No, and I don't mean to talk about the Lions, but Dan Campbell, we've talked about it. Like that's not how you win. It's not how you win in anything. It's not how you win in Vegas. It's not how you win in stocks. You don't just make calls with your emotions and your heart. You got to look at the numbers and the X's and O's. And I mean, and
this was
Dan Campbell. I think will be gone.
Yeah, this is the year of coaching and defense.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the other things is obviously you've got Ben Johnson and now he's your leader, but the growth that we saw from Caleb Williams, not only on the field but off the field, like that clip of him in the locker room after the Bears-Packers game, like how authentic he was, like talking about Ben Johnson, talking about his team, like you could tell how much it meant to him and how much Ben Johnson meant to him and this season meant to him and how it put him back on the map and gave him confidence again. And then right after he lost in the press conference after the Rams game, he goes, I got to work on extra and I got to work on timing. He immediately knew that. He cleaned up the sacks this year. He cleaned up the pre-snap stuff. He was getting to the line faster. We saw that growth this year. And now, I mean, we've always seen the explosiveness that he has. And he immediately is like, I know what I got to work on. Like, if I'm a Bears fan, like, I could not be happier. No. Honestly, dude, even though I lost, I could not be happier.
Yeah, and like if you watch that game, not from Caleb, but you as a fan standpoint, not even of a Bears fan, his one thing was, I mean, and timing and accuracy go hand in hand. It was those two. That was like the only thing he wasn't doing right. Getting it out quick. I mean, but yeah, he's gonna be a really special player, especially with Ben Johnson. They're gonna be really fun for a couple of years, plenty of years.
On the Rams side of things, their defense held up. They didn't break though. Stafford didn't have the best game,
and he didn't.
I saw a lot of people were mad at McVay. They ran the ball a little too much, but the pass game wasn't working, and they were able to play efficient football and get it done. But we'll touch on the Rams here more in a second when we talk about their matchup with Seattle. But
I was just gonna say I think the weather affected them a ton.
100%,
for sure,
100%. Then the third game, bloodbath. Seahawks win 41-6.
Yeah.
Fun fact here. So Shanahan has 163 games as the Niners head coach. 4 times his teams have been held under 7 points, and 2 of those are by Seattle in the last few weeks. So I mean, if that doesn't just scream domination, even with a depleted roster, and I mean this was like Bama versus Tulsa. Like I mean the rosters were not even comparable, and I mean I don't know what else to take away from this game besides the fact that Seattle is terrifying.
Hey, shout out Tulsa though. It's a friend of the show.
Shout out Tulsa University. Didn't mean to throw shade there.
Yeah, it's a friend of the show.
Bama versus Appalachian State. Yeah. That's more like
there we go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's really much to discuss.
You're an NCAA franchise.
Shout out Tom.
I don't think there's really much to honestly talk. Like the Seahawks have the best roster. They have the best defense. They're the deepest team, and the Niners have just been skating by on scheme and great individual play from a couple key guys. Like they've been riding McCaffrey, they've been riding Purdy, and Shanahan and Bob Saleh have been dialing up coaching that we've seen, like some of the best we've seen in the last 5 years. But I mean, this had to end at some point, and you ran up against a juggernaut. Like, I don't think there's really much else to say. Like I'm not mad at Purdy. I know he didn't play well. Like I don't know what we can really expect. He's throwing to Kendrick Bourne and Juwan Jennings. Like Kittle's out. He's
Purdy's
throwing to Jake Toms.
Yeah.
Like the defense is cooked. Like I mean, as soon as Shaheed ran that back, the very first play of the game was like, oh crap.
They didn't need any more. They literally didn't have to score any more points. They would have won the game.
Yeah, like, and my thing is, like Purdy when he came back this year, he was amazing. That game is not anything to talk about. I would just say it sucks so bad how much tread they wasted on McCaffrey this year just to Dude, really not much. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was an organizational win and a big win probably the biggest win for Kyle Shanahan versus anybody. Just his best season ever. It kind of sucks for the Niners though. Like since you've had Purdy, and even the Jimmy G days, like you've had these quarterbacks on these young deals, you've had badass rosters, and now it's like shit. You got Kittle who's going to be out, Fred Warner's out, Bosa's out now, and now you have Purdy on a giant contract. So it's like these. I don't know how often
passed up that rookie contract.
Yeah, man. It's like the rookie deal now is done with though, and it's kind of hard.
Ayuk's probably gone.
Ayuk's gone. It's hard for me to imagine those San Fran being a consistent
Jawan Jennings is a free agent
in these games like they have been in recent years because the financials aren't going to really favor them much going forward, and their best players are now old.
They need to do something about how either they draft players or how they take care of players because they are just insanely injury prone. Like
shit, it's contagious. They McCaffrey.
It's that power plant.
They went to the Warriors game last night, and Jimmy Butler tore his ACL immediately.
Yeah,
it's contagious.
No, have y'all seen that stuff about how their stadium's next to like that power plant, and so it's literally causing injuries to the players?
Yeah,
it's a fun ass theory.
If you're Cal, like let's say that this just plays out right, and the defense takes a huge step back, Kittle's gone or whatever, and
they
kind of just middle the next year or two. If you're Kyle Shanahan, are you maybe trying to get out?
My thing is that I think that guy continue to draft well.
He's got to get a Super Bowl. He has to get a Super Bowl.
He's still young, and they've always drafted good players, not unlike the Bills.
They've just got shit luck.
Yeah. But I mean,
and they've got they're great. Their best players are just injury risks.
And they're old now.
It's just what it is. It just sucks.
Yeah, they're kind of a one-of-a-kind team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard for a guy like Shanahan to be like, 2 mediocre years, 1 down year, and be like, to leave a franchise.
I'm not saying right now. I'm saying a few more years go by.
I'm saying like in 2 years, like it would still be pretty hard to, I think, pack it up. Like, I mean, shit, it took Tomlin, 10 years without winning a playoff game to pack it up? Like,
because he should have
Tomlin at least got an early Super Bowl, though.
Yeah.
He should have Warner and Bosa back to full health.
Yeah, or I almost wonder if we're going to get to a point maybe a couple years down the line to where they look at it as like a light or maybe a more advanced like McDermott situation. Like something's just got to change, but that's a conversation for another day. In the last game, Texans, Pats take it 28-16. I think the biggest thing here is C.J. Stroud. I mean, obviously, C.J. Stroud this playoffs had 10 combined interception and fumbles, the most in a single playoff run ever, and he only played 2 games. I mean, there was 4:03 left in the game, and DeMeco Ryans decided to punt the ball because that's how much confidence he had.
If the Dallas Cowboys were playing that game and Dak Prescott was a quarterback, the score would have been 42-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
That Texans defense has just been carrying him all year long. We've talked about it before. They're stacked at every single level.
That was one of the worst games I've ever seen a quarterback play. Like
100%.
From the jump. I remember we were watching like 5 minutes in. Before he had even turned the ball over yet, he had already thrown like 2 or 3 passes that could have been picked. Mm-hmm. We were literally sitting there talking. We're like, he looks horrible.
Yeah.
Like after the very first pick, I remember we already had started talking about like, shit, this might be Davis Mills time. He looked extremely uncomfortable from the jump. The weather. I mean, he couldn't even grip the ball. I mean, like it looked like a train wreck from the very beginning. The first pass.
Yeah.
He threw it into the dirt in front of an open guy. Like, I mean,
it's like a 4-yard pass.
I think this C.J. Stroud was the story of the weekend. While it's not Josh Allen, or you're not as dominant as the Seahawks, and you haven't had all the success. Like to melt down like that in a very winnable game, and to kind of waste a historically good defense.
This is an all-time defense.
I mean, this is an all-time. Like I think this actually might be the most crushing loss of the playoffs because. I think the Texans, if they just had competent quarterback play, could have won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
the defense.
Do they win that game if Mills starts?
Maybe. It's gonna be closer.
I think so. I mean, dude, they were down by like 8 points with like 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
After Stroud had been playing as horrible as he had, Drake May didn't play a hell of a lot better. I mean, he played better because you can't really play worse. But that defense, I mean, just combined with DeMeco and the coaching, like. It just feels like a massive waste if you're a Houston fan. And the problem is you don't have a bunch of guys on their, first year in the league. Like, these guys are on their third, fourth year. Like, this defense, like most of these
They're
really
about to
good
age out of
players
those contracts,
they either just got extended or are about to get extended. I think there's a good chance this is the best team top to bottom Houston has for the next decade.
And what do you do?
And now you've wasted it on one of the worst quarterback performances.
And it's also like
20th century.
they are 100% going to give Will Anderson a huge extension this offseason, which is
100%.
well deserved. And then CJ is just going to be sitting there pouting because he's going to be like, "Where's my extension?" But it's like you haven't. The thing is, like, he's been sitting there pouting for like 2 years and he hasn't done anything for 3 years. I mean, he's just like I don't like his attitude one bit. Like, he does not act like a grown up at all. And then Will Anderson is literally the opposite end. He's a leader. He's a full grown up. He cares, like.
Yeah, and you could blame the O-line, the time he has in the pocket or the weapons or whatever, but that was all time bad. And what do you, if you're Houston, let's just assume that they go back into next year, Stroud holds up, the defense is elite again, they get back in, and if he fumbles, like, what do you do? What do you even do? Are you confident as a Texan fan going into next season that he's the guy?
I'm not.
But what is your option? You kind of just have to run it back. You don't have another choice.
I would try to flip him for a pick or a quarter.
You would already be like, I want to trade him right now.
Yeah, I it's his attitude, man. He's old enough. I mean, he should be grown enough to know that he needs to not act a certain way. And he's been like this for 2 years now.
Have y'all seen the stats of when he big bro'd Caleb Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Since that moment.
Exactly.
He's been
and then
horrible.
he goes, top 5 in the league. Mahomes, Allen, myself. Doesn't even know it's one word. Lamar, Dak. Like, he's an idiot. Like, he probably didn't even. I can guarantee he didn't go to class at OU or OSU. But dude, like, he's just a.
I think Troy Aikman was trying to hint at it on the broadcast, and he got about as close to saying it as you
Troy
could.
is as real as it gets.
Because he was like, this guy has not developed since his first year. And he goes, we all know the reason why. He didn't say it, but it's because this guy doesn't – I don't think he puts the work in. He goes on these – after his rookie year, he was walking around like he was Josh Allen. He was on all those podcasts.
He's walking around like he was
Tom
Tom Brady.
Stupid crap with Micah.
Yeah, he was talking shit to Micah.
He went to go wrestle sumo wrestlers. Like, he was just being a jackass. And, like, I think Troy's right. I think what people are saying about him right. He hasn't developed at all. In fact, he's regressed. Now that people have all this tape on him, like, he's an accurate quarterback when he's playing indoors. He's like a poor man's Jared Goff.
Well, the thing that's scary is, like, it's not even like the physical makeup. It's all mental for him. And it's like, how do you fix that mental? And how do you fix the turnovers? And how do you fix not just chucking the ball up and just throwing the ball in the dirt when you need to? It's the simple things.
And it's as simple as, remember, we have a marketing friend that said he did a marketing thing with the Texans. Will Anderson's there on time.
Yeah.
And then CJ Stroud is way late, sleeps in, costs them $20,000, and literally is just immature the whole time, making your mama and, like, that's what she said jokes. Like, what is he in 7th grade? I mean, it just shows immaturity across the board for him. It's really bad.
Is he like the NFL's Ja Morant?
Kind of.
Possibly,
Ball,
yeah.
Trae Young. Well, the other thing about a guy with the mental makeup like that, when you have that horrible of a game on national television in the playoffs, I mean, I think there's a pretty solid chance that derails him for the rest of his career.
Yeah, because it's not on anyone else.
No, I think there's a good chance that, like, he might not ever recover from that game mentally. I mean, you saw him even like in the second quarter, like after pick 2. I mean, he looked just defeated. He looked like he wanted to leave, and it just got worse and worse and worse. I mean, you asked the question earlier, Cole. What do you do? Like, I think you have to run it back with him at least 1 year. You definitely don't extend him, and you just hope he gets better. But I mean, we're looking at kind of a make or break season now. I think with CJ, based off this game and this whole season. He hasn't been very good anyway. So you're in a tough spot.
That's why I'm saying you take Bryce over him, because
Houston.
even Bryce, you could extend him to a contract, that's not anything crazy, but you can live with him, He's not going to make those
I
crazy
think I'd
mistakes.
rather have CJ.
This was a team also, like 2 years ago when, they get Diggs and they have Nico, and this was a team like, okay, this is going to be led by the offense.
Joe Mixon, too.
Yeah, and luckily the defense is absolutely nails and gotten better, but I mean, God, they're holding it back, man, bad. But all right, we're back. We got a lot of coaches on the move. There were 10 opening vacancies. A couple days ago, 4 of them in Phil. Giants obviously got Harbaugh. Tennessee got Bob Saleh. Atlanta got Stefanski. And Miami picked up Jeff Hatley. But out of the ones open right now, we're looking at Buffalo. And if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm doing everything in my power to get Bill Belichick in office. I think it's really your only option. Like right now, he's plus 1,100 according to Vegas to be the next head coach. And the options right now are either a Joe Brady, their current OC, Clint Kubiak, or Brian Dable. And while all of those coaches may very well step in and have a great offense once again, it's kind of impossible to not have a great offense as long as Josh Allen's at the helm. But if you fire Doug McDermott, you need to get somebody that can elevate the team in any way. And outside of Bill Belichick or maybe Mike Tomlin, I don't know any coach that can't. I really don't. And they need a coach that's going to button things up, a coach that's going to give them an edge, and when it comes push to shove, he will be the X factor for them. And Bill Belichick, obviously, would that not be the greatest retirement possible plan of all time? Say, okay, you know what? I won all these rings with Tom Brady. I went to UNC for a year. My girlfriend may have ruined things, but I'm going to go get Josh Allen in Buffalo, go back to the AFC East, and potentially go get another Super Bowl or two. And then if you can't get Bill Belichick, again, I'm calling Mike Tomlin. I think whatever OC you have with Josh Allen, if you lose Joe Brady and go get a Tomlin, you're going to be just fine. And you need someone that's going to put the culture in place and someone that's going to make late-game adjustments, late-game management, and then just instill confidence at the team when your back's against the wall that, hey, we could actually go win this thing. I've been here before. I know how to do it. I think that's the biggest key. You need to get a coach that's won a Super Bowl and that's been to the promised land. If you sign Brian Dable, I don't see it. Even Clint Kubiak, I don't see it. And Joe Brady, if you're promoting the current OC, what the hell's the point? Your offense is going to be the same, but you might lose real culture and your defense may suffer as well too. So, like, if it's not one of those two guys, I mean, even worst case, I said this a minute ago, but if I can't get one of those, I might call Mike McCarthy, honestly. A coach that I know is going to instill a good system and a coach that's been in the promised land. I think that's you need a coach that's been there and done that.
Yeah, like they don't, it's not like a lot of other teams that, like the Giants, Tennessee, and Atlanta, where they have like a young developing quarterback and they need an offensive mind. You got Josh Allen. He can do whatever with any kind of offensive coordinator, I think. I mean, Joe Brady is nothing special, and Josh Allen was still amazing this year in the regular season. But yeah, they need a culture builder, someone that can set the foundation and just get everything right. But yeah, I bet Harbaugh is almost kicking himself because he didn't wait for this job. But
they need someone that they can look to when there's 2 minutes on the clock and say, okay, it's not all on Josh Allen's shoulders. Like a coach that say, okay, we believe in you, coach. What are we doing?
They can't miss this either.
They can't miss.
Can't be a miss. I think it's the same. I literally have the exact same coaches for the Ravens because I think they're in the same boat. Like prime quarterback, 30 years old. You've been pounding at the door for 5 years now. You haven't been able to get over the hump. You cannot. I like you said. Like I'd almost rather go Mike McCarthy over like a Clint Kubiak if I couldn't get Belichick or Tomlin. The other thing, I saw a bunch of stuff that Tomlin might take a gap year. No shot.
He loves football too much.
If Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in their primes are sitting there without a coach, Mike Tomlin would be crazy to say, I'm taking a year off. Like the opportunity there, and it's the same thing for Belichick. You're right. The retirement story, we've seen what happens when the greatest defensive mind ever and special teams mind ever gets together with an all-time quarterback. It was the greatest dynasty arguably that we've seen in sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be a perfect pairing. And the other thing is, I mean, you probably got, 5 years of Belichick? That's fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I'm fine with that. And then you promote someone else. If you do get Belichick, you got to make sure you hit on OC. You're obviously not going to get Josh McDaniels. Maybe then you bring in Dable.
Or or Joe Brady maybe
keep Brady. I mean, Dable coached under Belichick already.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think is, I think it's one of the most telling signs of if you get a quarterback, who you hire as a coach, what are the Chiefs going to think? How do you think the reaction's going to be in Kansas City if the Bills go get Bill Belichick compared to if they go get Clint Kubiak?
Yeah.
Or they go get Cliff Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to blink.
No, Andy Reid's going to be staying up a lot longer at night trying to form those game plans.
100%. When he stands across that sideline next postseason, he does not want to see Bill Belichick on that sideline. I think it's a perfect, and I'm going to say this for the Ravens too. It's a perfect spot. It fits seamlessly.
And there hasn't been an opportunity like this, I feel like, for a coach in a while to where the quarterback's there. We need somebody to take us over.
Honestly, never. The last one was Rodgers, but Rodgers was like 35. Like when Matt LaFleur came in. Like Josh Allen and Lamar are
and Rodgers
30.
at least got a Super Bowl at that point.
Yeah, these guys are 30. Like this is supposed to be like MVP years.
Yeah,
right now.
prime.
Like
absolute prime.
These opportunities are crazy.
The Ravens do have a lot better of a roster than the Bills, though, all around. Like, if you look at each position group, they might not be stacked all the way around, but they have at least, like, a stud in every position group. Like, defense, they got Matabuki, they got Roquan Smith, and in the back, they got, Marvin Humphreys, and then,
Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton's amazing, and then Malachi Starks had a great rookie year. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to, win Rookie of the Year, but he didn't live up to that, but he was still great.
And even if you get, like, Tom, I think even Tomlin would be an A+ higher. I mean, the
100%.
the guy's coached in the AFC for forever. I mean, he's
100%.
played all these teams, and you get a real advantage in there. My thing is, though, too, if they actually were able to go get a Bill Belichick, do they let him get control of the roster and the personnel?
Well,
they just promoted Brandon Beane.
That's the issue with the Bills at this point.
Yeah, and so if you're Bill, like,
I see. That's the thing. I think Bill would hate that.
I do,
because
yeah.
Bill's going to want to come in and control.
He's not going to coach if he doesn't have control.
Yeah,
So
Bill's not going to just come in and allow Brandon Beane to just take control of his personnel. He's going to be like, get the hell out of here. But Beane seems like he's got the ear of the owner.
Yeah, so it seems like they'll probably get Brian Dable or someone like that.
Yeah, because
if I had to assume.
I agree. It seems like, if it's Tomlin or Belichick, they're going to go in there and they're going to say, I don't want to work with Brandon Beane.
No, they're going to want the keys.
I don't like
and
what
they
he's
shouldn't.
done.
They shouldn't want to work with
because they're experienced and they know that they can't work with him. But then again, if you're a younger up and coming guy and you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're like, oh, Josh Allen, let me get my hands on that. Let me just, live with the GM. I can do that. But yeah, when you're experienced enough and you've built a roster yourself, that guy can't build one.
No,
it's just
it sucks because they're going to end up hiring one of these offensive coordinator guys.
It's going to be
Probably,
Dable.
but-
I bet it's Dable.
All right, you got Arizona?
Yeah, so, oh, man. Dude, so Arizona has interviewed like 10 guys already for their head coaching job. I bet every guy's walking out of there just saying, like, yeah, I'm not. Unless they're like a passing game coordinator or it's just a huge promotion for them. I don't know who's going to want to take this job because you were 3-14. You're in the toughest division in football, and they have no plan at quarterback while spending a crap load of money on it. Like, you have Tyler or Trey McBride, who's the best player, and then you have Marvin Harrison. That's it. Like, if a coach comes in and turns this team around, that's going to be one of the prettiest makeovers ever, and that coach is going to get, held up so high. But if you don't, I mean, you're just sitting in the shithole. That's already there. Like,
yeah, it kind of feels like they're just going to go hire like an Aaron Glenn type of situation.
yeah, like it's going to be like Arthur Smith or like Matt Nagy, like Raheem Morris.
Do you have someone you picked?
I said like Raheem. I said Raheem Morris or Arthur Smith. Because I don't know what do they need more defense or offense? They don't have anything anywhere. I mean, they have more pieces on offense, but they also have the number 3 pick this year, and I assume they're either going to take Reuben Bain or Arvell Reese. So I would think they're going to go more defensive so they can build that unit out and develop that player because he could be a Micah kind of player if he's developed right. But it's just there's such a long road ahead for that team. Like, and the quarterback situation is so bad.
It almost just feels like whatever coach they do decide to hire, the over-under on how long he lasts might be one season. I mean, they're just such a dumpster fire. Where do you even go? I don't think any, young, exciting coach is going to want to go there. And, like you said, they're probably going to hire some veteran
their
DC
owners,
or OC.
Yeah, and their owners are cheap, and they just don't care a lot. And I understand why they fired Gannon. He was clearly not the right guy, but they're just directionless right now.
They're about to just go get a Gannon, too. Even when they hired Gannon, it was kind of like, why?
Yeah,
what's the point?
He's a freaking goober when they hired him.
Yeah, and they're probably going to just run the same thing back and be in purgatory.
I think if you're Arizona, you got to try to find someone that can build you a culture. You haven't had a culture in Arizona since Bruce Arians.
McCarthy would be great for them.
Yeah, I actually think Mike McCarthy could be really good for them. Or Sean McDermott. I think if McDermott wanted someone to steady the ship, instill a culture of winning and hard work and precision. You need that in Arizona. You've been led by Cliff Kingsbury, who was the antithesis of that, and your quarterback has cared more about off-the-field stuff and video games, maybe as much as football. Like, there has been no accountability. There's been no hard work. There's been no culture set there for quite a long time, since arguably Carson Palmer and Bruce Arians. So I think their number one priority needs to be culture and building a foundation for success for the long term over can we get to 8 wins next year? Because you're in the best division in football. You're not going to win 8 games next year. That shouldn't be your goal. You should be moving off your quarterback this year, trying to find a replacement and someone to start this rebuild with, and someone to get these fans engaged and proud of this team again, because frankly, I don't think they've been proud of this team for almost 10 years. So I think you got to go get someone who's established and someone who can set the framework for a long runway of this team.
And what sucks too for them is they're probably not going to get one of those, because there's other teams like in kind of this purgatory with them, but they have better pieces like Las Vegas, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I mean, they're all kind of in the same spot. Pittsburgh is a little bit better, but that's because they've been held up by Tomlin. But I mean, you look at those 3 situations. I mean, even the Jets, Tennessee, Atlanta, Miami, all those before them, they hired someone else already, and I mean, all these teams have just been sitting in purgatory for years.
I would be blowing up Sean McDermott's phone if I'm them.
I
if
would
I'm Sean
too.
McDermott, I'm not going there.
But, that's the thing is the owners are so cheap, and you can spend whatever you want cap-wise on your coaches. They're just not going to outbid the other teams.
No, yeah, I just think it's like I don't even know if like Mike McCarthy would want to go there. I think it's going to be some desperate coach that just wants to get a promotion anyway.
Or it's going to be
Nagy.
or it's going to be Tomlin, McCarthy, or McDermott, but they're going to say, franchise is yours. You control everything. You report. It's like what Harbaugh with the Giants. Like, you're reporting directly to the owner. You have full control of this operation. Here's the keys to the castle. I think that's the only way.
Yeah.
That's the only way it could work.
Yeah, it's the only way you can go get someone like that to actually do it. And honestly, I don't even think that's really a recipe for long-term success. I mean, there's only been a few coaches who have never been able to do that. But I don't know what else you do if you're Arizona. If you go get a Matt Nagy or a Joe Brady, or you go get, I mean, Mike McDaniel's gone now, but if you got someone like him or Daboll, Kubiak, like it's you're just gonna keep running this hamster wheel that you've been running on for 10 years.
I'm not his biggest fan either, but I think if Mike McCarthy doesn't get hired this coaching carousel this time, I think that's a huge mistake. Like he's proven time and time again he can build a culture and a winning team.
Yep. All right, Baltimore.
We touched on this briefly with the Buffalo Bills. I think they're in almost the exact same position as Buffalo. The only minor difference is I think their runway actually might be even a little shorter than Buffalo's, because Lamar Jackson and the running quarterback stuff, he's, I think, a year older than Josh. And he's probably not going to age as well as Josh because he relies more on the run game. So for me, like you said, with Buffalo, Bill Belichick to me is the clear choice, because that 3 to 4 year window, that might be it for Lamar's prime. We don't know. I mean, I hope it's not. But to say that Lamar is going to be awesome at 38 years old, you don't know that. Like, no one can say that with confidence. I think we can say with confidence he'll be great for 3 to 4 years, and then we'll see what happens. That lines up perfectly with Belichick. Again, like you said, I think Tomlin would be my second choice. I would love to. I mean, he knows this team back and forth. He plays them at least twice a year. Tomlin's a culture guy. Lamar also loves Tomlin. He's come out multiple times and said at some point in his career he'd love to play with him. Tomlin he's got the Pittsburgh and the Baltimore vibe, defense, culture. We're going to win games. We're going to work hard. We're going to be in the film room. The dark horse candidate I think I'd really like here, if we could pair him with a good OC, like if you get Daboll or for some reason you get Kingsbury or some other good offensive coach, be Brian Flores.
Yep.
I would love to see Flores in Baltimore with Lamar. Like I think when you've got a quarterback, it's a lot different when you've got a young developing quarterback. It's really important to get that offensive guy like you got Ben with Caleb. When you've got a guy like Lamar, you can kind of just let him handle the offense. Go get a guy to really lock down the defense. And, everyone kind of just says Harbaugh is a defensive guy. He is more an offensive guy. Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
Yeah.
Harbaugh was not a defensive coordinator. Like, he was more of a special teams guy than anything. He developed as a coach into more of a defensive coach. But you go get a schematic defensive mind like Brian Flores, which I think is probably the most reasonable option out of the three. I mean, maybe Tomlin, but we'll see if he wants to coach. I would love to see Brian Flores. He's got that same toughness, that same energy, that same culture that these other defensive guys have.
A lot like Saleh.
Yeah, a lot like if Saleh hadn't gone, I would have loved Saleh there too. You just got to make sure you pair him with a good offensive coordinator that can build an offense around Lamar, which, I mean, I don't think it's most coordinators, I think, could build an offense around Lamar and what they got on offense. So,
and also, I mean, teams last year were literally willing to offer a first-round pick for Mike Tomlin. There's no way someone doesn't pay him enough to be a coach this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, next team, Cleveland. For Cleveland, I got Clint Kubiak is my name. He's just, the obvious guy to come off the board here. He comes from the Shanahan-McVay tree. He runs a zone-based scheme, which is what Stefanski ran too, so it'd be a pretty easy transition for Shador, Fannin, who's ever, an offense for him. It's not like they would be remaking the whole entire offense. Yes, there'd be tweaks and other things, but it would be, a pretty seamless transition. And, I mean, this guy's the hottest name on the market right now. He turned Sam Darnold into, a good QB. Sale had the third best offense in points per game this year. Grant Udinsky's another name they've brought up, the current Jags OC over Liam Cohen. But for this one, Jim Schwartz, another name. He's their current DC. People are like, why not just promote him? But if I'm Cleveland, I'm like, I'm going to give Shador a real chance at this. You may as well. The defense is already good. You can keep Jim Schwartz in-house, I would hope, and the defense will be fine. And just get a coach with Shador and this running game, this O-line, the few weapons they have to maximize everything they can. Because right now, frankly, the roster's not very good. And Stefanski, I love Stefanski. He's a good coach. I mean, it just obviously ran out of time. But I think if you can maybe go add another receiver in the offseason, you give Kubiak some weapons. I mean, look what he did with JSN. You go get a receiver in there. You have Harold Fannin in there as well. It sucks that Quinshon's hurt now. But just try to give Shador a chance. And, worst case, if it doesn't work out, in a few years, you're getting another quarterback and you're getting another head coach in there. But he's the most obvious name for him right now. And I don't think you go defense here if you're Cleveland. The defense is going to be fine with Myles Garrett and co. on there. You go get a coach that, again, like I said, you can give Shador a real shot. Because we saw flashes from Shador, too. It wasn't all pretty at times. We saw flashes of him being potential franchise quarterback. And I think Clint, out of all the names, is probably the one that's going to give him the best chance to succeed. And if he does pop, maybe you're looking at a Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams light, in the near future once you add more pieces around him and get it all going.
The Browns are just so hard to talk about because they've just been such a mess for so long, and their defense is great, but it just feels like any quarterback they get is gonna be terrible. Like,
yeah, we thought that was Chicago though too,
Yeah, but it's a different stain. Like, you're not seeing the QB, the jersey of 40 quarterbacks' names on it on the back,
Yeah.
And like they're literally notoriously known for just. I mean, the Bears even made the conference championship or the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, or wait, was that with the Redskins?
No, that was the Bears.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah, there you go. I mean, like, the Bears have just not done anything in so long. I'm almost like, dude, just push in all your chips to go try to get Arch Manning or something at this point. Like, I think Kubiak would be a great hire for them. He's a very fun coach. Yeah, like you said, Shanahan tree. I mean, those guys have been doing very well in the league. But it's just like a curse that's on that franchise. Like, they need to do like some kind of exorcism, wave around some of those synths, whatever, on the field. I don't even know.
Yeah, because with Kubiak, the offense will be improved with Kubiak there.
Yeah.
And it's just like we see all these guys. We see, McDaniel, Cohen, all these guys nowadays all come from the same exact tree. And either the offense is always good, and B, if it doesn't work out, it's usually because of culture. So, I mean, at least with Clint, if it doesn't work out, it's probably going to be because of culture, or maybe Shador's just a complete bust. But
yeah.
I think if you're kind of playing with house money if you're Cleveland, so we'll get the hottest name on the market, see what happens. I mean, a Jim Schwartz, I think, would just be a disaster hire.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's the favorite right now for it.
We've seen Jim Schwartz as a head coach.
Yes.
Yeah. I think if you take that job, you gotta take some front office responsibility as well, because you can't let something like Deshaun Watson happen again. Like, right when they were building a really promising roster, they traded for Deshaun Watson and basically threw away 3 first-round picks and $400 million.
Yeah,
and that just is gonna cripple your franchise for the amount of time that guy's on the roster, you know,
Well, to that
and beyond. I mean, the amount of guys, because they're actually pretty solid at drafting recently.
Yeah.
Like Jacob Berry, or right?
Andrew Berry.
Andrew Berry. I almost said Matthew Berry even. But yeah,
He'd
no,
be a
like
hell of
go
a
get
GM.
Matthew Berry.
Yeah, go get Matthew
no,
Berry.
but he's been a hell of a drafter. I mean, I think he hit on like they had like 9 draft picks this year. I think like
Yeah,
7
they had
of them
one of the best.
contributed.
They had one of the best
heavily.
drafts ever
Yeah, like,
this year.
I mean, they're very young still. Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the league by far. You might even need to go flip him for like 4 first-round picks in a year or two. But man, that is a very weird spot.
I'm trying to
just
think of
'cause-
like a blueprint of a recent team like Cleveland that I would try to follow. Like, I mean,
they still have like 2 years of Deshaun.
Jags.
yeah, but then it just comes
Jags?
down to like, do you think Shador can be the
No.
guy? You know, so if he can't, then that's why it's tough, because they're in the weird spot with the quarterback situation.
The other
Dion.
there you go. The other thing you got to worry about if you're going to be the coach of the Browns, like you mentioned the Deshaun Watson trade, and I think it also went to the Shador pick, that owner has a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
That owner controls a lot of what happens. I think when Andrew Berry gets to run the show, he does a really good job. When Stefanski gets to run the show, he does a good job. But Andrew Berry has his finger on the pulse a lot, and he makes a lot of those big, drastic decisions, and I don't think he really cares what Andrew Berry or the coach thinks when he does that. So, I mean, if you're Kubiak, you're going to have to be okay with that. But, I mean, that's probably going to line up with being a young coach. Like, I don't think a guy like Tomlin or Belichick or even Mike McCarthy would put up with that.
No.
If he's like, no, I don't want this guy, and the owner's like, well, tough shit. It's happening. Like, they're not going to put up with that. So I think it works for a young guy like Kubiak. But that's something you got to keep an eye on, because 2 years, you never know. There might be another Deshaun Watson situation come up, and he's going to be like, well, we're doing it. Tough shit. And you might hate it.
What, didn't Deshaun have the allegations before they even traded for him?
No.
No, it all
It
happened
all
after.
Wow, yeah. What a cluster fuck.
All right,
Yeah.
Vegas.
So, Tom Brady is running this coaching search. I've been reading. My thing is, I don't know if Tom's going to make the right choice. I feel like Tom is going to choose a defensive coach, but I really, really think they should get an offensive coach, especially because they're clearly going to draft Fernando Mendoza. You got Ginty and you got Bowers on the offense. I mean, I am in the group of let's just build an insane offense. I mean, I think they need to draft some. They have a lot of cap room too, like a shitload. They need to either fill out their O-line and free agency in the draft, and then pick up some defensive pieces here and there. I honestly think they should trade Max Crosby. I think they could get like 2 first-round picks and maybe a second for him. He is such a special player, and it sucks to let that go, but that's the price you pay to let that go. And, I mean, the things you could build with that would be special. I would go try to get Clint Kubiak if I'm them. And if not him, I had Mike LaFleur or Mike McDaniel up there too, but McDaniel's obviously gone signed with the Chargers. But, I mean, if you're going to go the defensive route, go get like Jesse Minter or Chris Shula from the Chargers or Rams, 2 up-and-coming defenses that have been great. They don't seem like they have too many great pieces. The guys come out of nowhere, which shows the great coaching. But, I mean, Vegas has just been in a rut for such a long time. I love Mendoza for them. I mean, I think they need to develop the offense and focus on that rather than trying to develop the whole team at one time. Really just hone in on the quarterback and the offense and make sure you get that right, because they have not gotten that right in so long. They had Derek Carr for like 2 years. That was good, but then they went and changed coaches. I mean, they had, what was his name? Del Rio. Jack Del Rio was their coach, and they were good for a little bit. But, I mean, he was an offensive coach. And then, things fell apart whenever people got film on them. You need a guy that can, an offensive coach that can counter to the defense whenever they actually watch film. And I think Brady should understand that. Like, not everyone's Tom Brady. And that's the thing sometimes is like, never the best players in the league are never the best like coaches or managers, because they had all the talent in the world. They didn't have to like work as hard, So they just are kind of like, yeah, you can go do this and it's fine, right? So that's why Brady's like, let's get a defensive coach, but I really think they should try to get an offensive coach offensive coach for this team.
If I'm Vegas, like I mean, I definitely see that side of it. I also, if I'm Vegas, there's a part of me that like looks at like the Commanders a few years ago and say, okay, we got a stud rookie quarterback. We need culture in there. Our defense is atrocious. And, we've seen the culture, Max Crosby coming out and saying this organization's a joke, and there's really not a lot of respect in the building right now, I feel like. And if I'm Vegas, I'm like, I'm almost maybe more pivoting to like an established guy, or maybe like a Flores or a Mike McCarthy or a McDermott would fit in like a glove.
McCarthy, it would be great.
And you pair, a McDermott or one of those guys with, maybe not Kingsbury, but a guy like that, and say, okay, we should have our quarterback here, we'd hope, but maybe try to establish the culture first and get things going. Because I think if Mendoza is who he is, odds are it'll work out well. And I almost feel like the culture maybe needs to get set before going for the offensive sexiness of it.
That's very fair.
I completely agree. I would be moving heaven and earth to get Sean McDermott. I mean, we saw what he did with the Buffalo Bills when he got there. They hadn't been to the playoffs in 20 years, and then he got there with Tyrod Taylor before he even got Josh Allen. Like, that's what McDermott did. He rebuilt this franchise. He gave it respect again. He turned this tire fire into one of the best organizations in the league for 10 years. He even handpicked Brandon Beane as the GM, and when he got there, I think you have to go get a guy to clean this organization up. There's so many leaks. There is oil all over the floor here. Like, you've got to get someone to come in there and clean it all up. I think if you get a guy like Kubiak, you're also in Vegas. Like, that's another thing. You're not in Jacksonville. Like, this is a volatile market. Like, it's an exciting city. You're going to have a coach that's also going to be able to control his players. You've got a lot of 22, 23, 24-year-old single guys living in Las Vegas. You need a coach with respect who's been in the league and been around the league and won a lot to be able to command respect in that locker room to get those guys to buy in. Because you're going to have 24-year-olds who are going to be in the casinos and going out to the clubs on Friday nights.
Not Mendoza.
He'll be reading The Hobbit or something.
Yeah.
But everyone else on that team, you got to have a guy in there who's going to command the respect of that team. And I think a guy like McDermott, even Tomlin, if he was interested in it, would be a great choice.
Yeah, because I almost like if you go get that young OC, it's like if he doesn't work out, then all of a sudden you're also worrying about Fernando. And if that doesn't work out, then you're having to point the finger at him too.
But also, like, if you get McDermott and McDermott doesn't get a competent enough offensive coordinator, then you just wasted a huge developmental year for Mendoza. That's why, like, I agree with you. I'm like, yeah, McCarthy and McDermott would be great, the mix. But like, they really need to hone in and get, like, the reason McCarthy was so successful as well was because he had Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore was so huge for Dak. And I think these young quarterbacks really need an offensive coordinator to help guide them. And I think they need a consistent scheme every year, because also, let's say you have McDermott and he has a offensive coordinator, and then Mendoza has a great first year, then that offensive coordinator goes and gets poached, and then Mendoza has to learn a whole new scheme, which is, we get told it's like learning a whole new language. I just don't think that's good for the development. And I think that's the number one priority for them right now.
Yeah, that's just the reality of the NFL, though. When you have a good offense and a young QB, they just get poached. Like, I don't know. It's been so bad in Vegas, I personally would rather just play it safe and go get someone that can build up the culture and just, like you said, like cut the leaks off and just get the foundation set. Even if that guy doesn't work, then we'll go poach the Jags' 28-year-old OC or someone else.
Even when even if you have a couple years with one, think Jalen Hurts. And then C.J. Stroud, they've never had the same offensive coordinator the last couple of years, and they've just keep teetering off, being worse every year since then. It's just I think you really need one offensive scheme to stick to. I think McCarthy would be better because he has one scheme.
Well, at least McCarthy's an offensive coach too.
Yeah,
the other thing I think to keep in mind for the Raiders, and I think this worked a lot with McDonald in Seattle. I think Seattle going into their coaching search was like, we have Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan in the division. Mm-hmm. Are we going to get a better offensive scheme or offensive mind than that? Probably not. They went full in on the defense, and look at it now. And I think it's pretty similar to the AFC West. You've got Andy Reid and you've got Sean Payton. And then you got Jim Harbaugh, who's a great offensive coach too. I mean, the guy played quarterback. I almost think you look at it as like, okay, are we going to try to beat them offensively? No, we're not going to beat Mahomes offensively and Andy Reid. We're not going to beat Sean Payton offensively. We're not going to beat Herbert and Jim Harbaugh offensively. How can we beat these guys year in and year out consistently. It's got to be through the defense. It's got to be through work ethic. It's got to be through accountability. It's the only way you're going to do it. Like, and I just think you get Clint Kubiak in there, you get some other offensive guy. I think Mike would work, but I think you got to go full defense if you're the Raiders. I think that's how you counteract the offensive brilliance in their division.
Okay, what's y'all's opinion on them trading Max Crosby?
I think they should trade Max Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a toxic relationship at this point.
He seems like he hates it.
Yeah, okay. That was one big thing. Because, I mean, that could give you so much for the next coach to build on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one, Pitt.
All right, Pittsburgh. We've said this guy a couple times now, but I think the clear choice is Clint Kubiak.
He's getting a job.
When Pittsburgh went out and got Tomlin, he was one of the youngest coaches in the league. This team has had 3 coaches for 50 years at this point. Like, the leash is incredibly long. They like to keep guys there for 10, 12 years, build not just a culture, but like decades around these guys. They like to go get young guys. The other one would be Chris Shula because he's a young defensive mind. He'd fit the Pittsburgh culture of defense and toughness and hard work. But I think if you're Pittsburgh, you have to move off the defensive mindset that you've had for almost 20 years. Go get a young, brilliant offensive mind with a hell of a family name and a hell of a family history in this league and hope that he's the next great coach in this league that you can build around for 20 years. That's what this franchise wants to do. If you go get, the Mike McCarthy's or you go get the Sean McDermott, like, what are you really doing? That's what you had in Tomlin. Like,
you're just downgrading from what you had.
Exactly. Like, I would have actually kind of liked Mike McDaniel here if you could have gotten a good DC. Since he's already gone, I think Kubiak's the clear choice. If not, I think you go with another young guy like Chris Shula, like someone else who you can fully give him the keys and say, build what you want. We are going to give you a very long leash and let you develop how you want to develop this franchise. And I think a guy like Kubiak, having his dad and everything that he has learned and his family background that he's had for his entire life, letting that imprint on him and then imprint on Pittsburgh, and giving them kind of an offensive spark in a division that's pretty aimless at this point. I mean, 3 of the 4 coaches were fired. The only one that didn't get fired was the worst coach in the division, who will probably be fired next year.
Yeah, that's nuts.
The Browns are going nowhere. We don't really know what Baltimore's going to do at head coach. I really like Clint Kubiak here. I think he can come in and print his vision, and he can really start developing a team how he sees fit and eventually get a quarterback to run it.
God, there's so many openings. Half of these teams are bound to mess this the fuck up. But I agree with you. My one thing is just like, it seems like they have a lot of aging pieces. Like a lot of their really good players are aging. And so I agree with you. Get the young guy because, yeah, Tomlin was that old, foundation guy. But it's also like, should we just start flipping our pieces for something else?
Right.
Just do a whole rebuild, which I think they should. But yeah, they made a lot of win now moves last year, like getting DK and stuff. But
yeah, that's
Jalen Ramsey. It's just they're in a tight spot. And they have no quarterback now.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like if you go get McDermott or one of these other guys who wants to win now, like you're just delaying the inevitable. This needs to be torn down to the studs and rebuilt in a different light. And I just think you can't do that if you go get a guy like – I've seen Mike McCarthy as one of the top candidates for this job.
He's been interviewed already.
Yeah. He's a Pittsburgh guy, but it's like Mike McCarthy doesn't want to come in there and lose for 3 years.
No, he's ready. He's old.
He wants to win. Like, you got to get a young guy in there.
Yeah. All right, we got the conference championships. Game 1, we got Pats at Denver. Pats are a 4.5-point favorite. Can Stidham pull some shit out of his ass and make this thing happen, or do we see another just Patriots D-line takeover, Vrabel out-coach Sean? What are we feeling here?
I think it'll be closer than we think. Like, the Broncos are really strong in the trenches on both sides, and, that's one thing that's huge for a backup quarterback. Just think when Nick Foles did it a couple years back, that Eagles O-line was insane. It makes the offense a lot easier to call and makes a lot easier to read the defense. But, it seems like every single week the team that's playing the Patriots is like, I had no idea what the hell they were running the whole game on defense. So, I'll take the Pats, but I think this could be a really fun game. Like you said earlier, like they're paying Jared Stidham $12 million a year for a reason. He's got to be one of the quality backups, and Sean Payton's like 4-1, 4-0 or something with the backups at quarterback. Like he clearly runs his offense closer to the belt, and I think it'll be a great coaching duel.
Yeah, I think this is a game Broncos have nothing to lose, and that's a really scary team to play in the playoffs.
Right?
Like Denver could get beat by 30, and it's gonna be like, lost their quarterback. Like there's no pressure anymore on Denver, even though they're at home. It's going to be snowing. Those Broncos fans are going to be going crazy, and yet they're going to be playing with their hair on fire, just saying, shit happens, whatever. I think that's a really dangerous spot, especially for a young New England team to be in with a coach who's never gotten past this round. Like I think Denver has a real shot to upset New England, even with Stidham. They've got arguably they've got a top 5 O-line statistically in the league. They've got a top 3 defense. I mean, you look at their roster top to bottom, it's probably better than New England's.
It definitely is.
They might even be getting J.K. Dobbins back. Like this, this game just is screaming Sean Payton masterclass to me. Just a running the ball defensive game plan from the Broncos that ends up with a 17-14 victory one way or the other. Like this is a really dangerous spot for New England when you got all the pressure and you're not even really going to be praised if you win. Like it's a really hard spot for them.
It's like you said, like with the quarterback out, it's almost like every single other player with their head on fire is going to be like, hey, Knicks ain't playing. It's time to, like make my money, make my mark on this game, like really show up, just make one play. And I secured my future, like type thing, like, or I got us to the ship. I agree with you completely.
Yeah, I think even with Jared Stidham I think this game still might be tougher than the Charger or Texans for New England. I mean, Drake May hasn't really played that good in these playoffs, and Will Campbell got absolutely gashed. Or not Will Campbell. Yeah, Will Campbell got absolutely gashed by Will Anderson. Yeah, and they're going to put Nick Bonito on Will Campbell, and if they don't scheme someone to help him and it's one-on-one, it could get ugly real quick. And we've seen Drake May in these playoffs. When he gets pressure on him, it doesn't really look that good. And Denver has the potential to cause all the pressure in the world. And this defense is good enough to where it can completely take over. And like you said, if Sean Payton's able to give Stidham some easy reads, when we've seen him do more with less in New Orleans. So, I mean, if they can establish any sort of run and Stidham can make a few plays and that defense can just swarm in Mile High, they really, I think, might win this game. I'm probably going to lean New England, but it wouldn't shock me one bit if Denver comes out of here with a dub. It wouldn't.
I think it's going to be a really good game. It's in Denver, correct?
Yeah. I think I'm going to take Denver's money line just because it's going to be so juiced, and I really think this is going to be a coin toss kind of game.
So do you think it's gonna widen as the week goes on?
So it's already moved to 5.5.
Okay, there you go.
On ESPN, it's moved to 5.
I'm just gonna wait for it to get to like 7.5.
You know the other thing, Sean Payton might be so diabolical and so insane that he's not obviously glad that Bo Nix is out. But he's probably just sitting there, just staying up till 5 a.m. every night, just cooking up these crazy ass plays because he's such a maniac.
Hitting his bong.
He's probably working overdrive. I mean, he already probably works harder than almost anyone in the world. But now he's like, oh, we want to see what I can do now? Let me show you what I can do because he's so diabolical as a coach. I'd be really nervous if I'm a New England fan. I get
a Nick Foles vibe, man.
I mean, this is Sean Payton legacy. If he's able to get to the Super Bowl and beat the Patriots with Jared Stidham, I mean, and the thing also too, New England's won their previous 2 games by just absolutely dominating on the edge. The Chargers have the worst pass blocking O-line in the league. The Texans' offensive line couldn't hold up for shit. Denver
left tackle was out for. Texans left tackle was out.
Yeah, but Denver's offensive line is no damn joke, and Garrett Bowles is one of the best tackles in the league. So and New England's D-line really wasn't that great all year. They just, kind of win against two below average, crummy offensive lines. So, I mean, I'm expecting this Denver offensive line to be able to hold up. And, yeah, really, like you said, for Sean Payton to just coach his ass off. And if Sean Payton's able to get to the Super Bowl, let alone win it, I mean, what it could do for his legacy.
Oh, God.
As an all-time. I mean, he's already an all-time coach, but
separates him from Big Mike.
I mean, he's probably already past Big Mike, but yeah, getting
Big
to that
Mike and Little
tier
Mike,
right below
McCarthy
Bill
and Tomlin.
Belichick is the best to do it. I mean, it's getting set up for a good one. But I will say, though, I don't want to see Jarrett Stidham in the Super Bowl. I really don't.
I don't know.
I agree.
The other thing, if you're Denver, like, what scares you about New England? To me, nothing. Because the only thing that would scare me is May. Because they're not dominant, really, in any other position group on the field except quarterback.
They're just really good.
And May hasn't been very good in the postseason so far. Like, if I'm Denver, there's not one position group I look at, like, okay, they're clearly better than me other than quarterback. In fact, I think we're better in almost every spot except quarterback. So I just, like, when you line these guys up, if they can just play turnover-free football, can cut down on penalties, and put New England in 3rd and longs and let that defense pin their ears back against Will Campbell and that shaky line, I think Denver's got a real shot to take them.
No, I completely agree. All right, and also Drake Mays had 6 fumbles this postseason. So
wow,
look out for that. Next game, this one might be the Super Bowl. We may as well call it that. Rams-Seahawks in Seattle. Seahawks are a 2.5-point favorite. These teams this season, when they've played each other, they're 1-1. The Rams have put up 58 points. The Seahawks have put up 57. The Rams have put up 830 total yards, and the Seattle's put up 829. So, I mean, if we talk about just a coin flip, cinema, fireworks, what the hell's going to happen? I don't really know, honestly. I honestly lean the Rams just because of Matt Stafford. We've yet to see Sam Darnold really be put in any crucial situations this postseason. I mean, they've only played one game, but I mean that Sam Darnold played good, but he didn't have to do anything. And this game's going to be close, and if Seattle's going to win this game, Sam Darnold is going to have to make a few plays. They're not going to just steamroll the Rams like they did the Niners. The Rams roster's too good, McVay's too good, Stafford's too good. And I think it's going to come down to a late game moment, and I'm putting my money on Matthew Stafford to make it happen.
I completely agree. This is the Super Bowl. Whichever one of these teams, I think whichever one of these teams wins could roll the winner of the AFC. I think these, you know what? These have been the 2 best teams in the league all year. Mm-hmm. I mean, Seattle's been so dominant; they've been just blowing people out all year. And the Rams, when they're playing well, we're blowing out the Seahawks, and we're blowing out other teams. The Rams have had some missteps here and there. We saw this game, though, in, 4 or 5 weeks ago? Rams were destroying them. I think they were up like 28-13 or 30-13. And Seattle had this miraculous comeback, and a lot of things fell their way. But I think Seattle has a lot of recency bias about its recent blowout against the Niners and then beating them in Week 18, that a lot of people are forgetting that they got ridiculously lucky to even make it to overtime against the Rams, and the Rams – most of the time would have blown them out in that game. I think the Rams have been the best team all year when they're right, and I think it's going to be close, but like you said, it's going to come down to the end, and I just don't trust Sam Darnold worth anything. I'm putting my money on Stafford.
I agree with y'all completely. It's also what we said the last couple of weeks about, the Rams, when they're playing a good team, they play great, but when they're not, when they're playing like the Panthers, or I think – you could even say the Bears in some regard. When they play a team that they just feel is lesser than them, they don't play up to their standards. They don't give it full throttle the whole game. They almost give up halfway through or something, or they feel like they have the job already done, and they feel like they just pull the gas off the brakes. Or wait, I said that wrong. Pull the foot off the pedal, right? But they know what Seattle is, and they know like that they should be frightened by them, and I think they're going to come prepared. And if they do come prepared, and it maybe they got a lead, but if it's a close game, I'm taking Stafford over Darnold 99 times out of 100.
The only thing I'm scared of for this game, like Seattle's built to just dominate you, and if it is close, that's why I'm saying I'd go with Stafford. But this one, honestly, Seattle I think has a chance to also blow them out too. I mean, the Rams, they just went to OT in Chicago. They had to play a way tougher game in Carolina than we thought. Seattle, I mean, when you talk about this, might be the healthiest, freshest roster to ever play in a championship game ever. So there's also that
they are
factor
very
too.
Healthy, yeah.
I mean they pulled their starters. Like Sam Darnold got pulled in the
Do the
third quarter.
Rams have any injuries at all either?
No, they don't have any injuries, but they had to go into OT in Chicago in like 2-degree weather, obviously the Carolina game. So
and that's a test, man.
yeah, I also could see the Seahawks blowing them out. I really
because
could.
shoot, they're going to be in that cold weather again. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And that really affected them last game.
I think the Rams could blow them out too. I mean,
yeah, this game is very
Darnold gets
unpredictable.
off his rocker in the first quarter. I mean, the Rams were blowing them out 5 weeks ago. I mean, they were up by 3 scores on them going into the fourth quarter, and then they came back. Like I think anything can really happen in this game. I do agree that I think the Seahawks could blow them out if that D line starts getting to Stafford and the Rams offensive line starts breaking down. If they can get pressure on Stafford with 4, it's going to be a serious problem for them. But on the flip side, you got Sam Darnold at quarterback in the playoffs, outdoors, in Seattle. Like, it's going to be wet. It's going to be raining. Those conditions are not going to be offensive friendly. There's a lot.
Charbonnet's out.
And Charbonnet's out. Like, there's a lot of different things that can go on in this game. I think when you break it all down, you just got to go with Stafford over Darnold. The rosters are too good. The coaching's too good. I think that's where you got to – I mean, if you're taking Seattle – you're just saying the defense is too good and that they're going to smother the Rams offensively.
They do have George Halani, okay, to take over for Charbonnet.
That's
all right, man. No, but okay, I want to ask this. Let's each who are y'all picking to win? This will be fun.
Rams.
I'm going Rams.
I think I'm going Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's gonna like you said,
just trying to differentiate.
It's gonna be the D line. The
McAfee.
Seattle was 3rd in pressure rate this year. The Rams have a top 10 O-line in pass protection. But I mean, yeah, that's the thing. If Seattle, like you said, can hit home with 4, they should win this game. But also too, at the same time, it's like they came back against the Rams a few weeks back. It's like, what are the odds that Sam Darnold plays that good against this good of a defense once, let alone twice in one season in a conference championship game? I wouldn't bet on it. But if Sam Darnold does balls out and plays well, I mean, we might be talking about we kind of have to talk about him as like a top 8-9 guy if he does go and do this.
I mean, if Sam Darnold plays well, they're gonna beat the Rams and they're gonna destroy whoever they play in the Super Bowl. I mean, if Sam Darnold plays like a top 6 guy, I mean, I don't think anybody can beat this team.
No,
but it's Sam Darnold, and that until we see him, and that was the thing in that Rams game. 5 or 6 weeks ago, he was horrible. He was playing a horrible game, and then, to his credit, he played awesome in the fourth quarter and awesome in overtime. But that game looked like it was the Week 18 game from last year, and it looked like it was the wild card weekend when he played that Rams defense and got destroyed. And we're talking about Seattle getting home with 4. Rams have a hell of a pass rush too, and if they could easily get home with 4 just as well as Seattle. And I'd be a hell of a lot more nervous if I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan seeing them get home with 4 against Sam Darnold than I would be if I'm a Rams fan seeing them get home with 4 against Stafford, because at least I know Stafford is doing a lot more pre-snap, can get through his reads, and he also has a lot more yak guys he can get the ball to. Like you can get Pook on screens, you can get those running backs on screens. JSN is awesome, but JSN is not a big screen guy. He's not a big he's going to catch the ball 2 yards off the line of scrimmage and run 60 yards. He needs time to get the ball down the field. You've now got the entire rushing game on Kenneth Walker's shoulders.
I just think the weather is going to play such a huge factor too.
What is the weather in Seattle this weekend? I'm sure it's cold and raining. Let's see.
So they play Saturday or Sunday? It's gonna. It's 44 to 33.
Yeah,
so okay.
Cloudy.
Actually, I kind of am with you. I think I'm gonna take the Rams.
Yeah, I mean that definitely helps Matt.
Yep.
But all right, well that about do it.
Think that wraps it. Wait, so who are we picking in the Broncos Patriots game? We never.
Patriots. I think we all said Patriots.
I think I'm going Denver.
I'm gonna pick Patriots.
I'm taking Patriots.
You're going Denver?
I think I'm going Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. You heard it. Episode 3.